Okay guys, we did our repair to the rollers. You can see we just tacked that up. We're going to smooth it out a little bit better. And we added material to the spring where that was all worn down. So we did those repairs, drilled this out to a 1/2 inch, and what I did is I take a 1/2 inch carbide burr and I just run through here real quick, both sides. Just make sure it's nice and smooth. And then we take a hand file, we just file off all the burrs, all the edges. So we got it pretty nice. And the next step now, we're going to trial fit everything. So these pieces go here. Joey's going to pop that oil light bushing in. Alright, so we have that nice, but what you want to make sure before you go any further is that the mating piece fits. And you can see here that it doesn't, and it's because this over time right here has spread out a little. Not a big deal, we're just going to pop it in a vise, squeeze it together a little bit till it fits. Alright, this one here, no issue, fits fine. So that's something you need to check. And that's where we're at now at this stage. And so I'm going to go ahead, pop this in the vise, get this to fit real nice, and then we'll show you the next step. Alright guys? Okay peeps. Got everything nice, fitted. Everything is together. And if you notice, now there's a specific orientation for where the Zerk fitting goes. This is the top hinge as it would sit on the car. This is the bottom hinge as it would sit on the car. And you can see for the top hinge, the Zerk fitting has to go on the bottom. And on the bottom hinge, the Zerk fitting has to go up towards the top. So it took a little bit here. We had to do a little filing, a little reaming, but you want these to fit really nice with no binding. And you can see here, if I just pull this pin out, Joey, can you hold that please? Thank you. Pull this out, it's just like really smooth. So this is our mock-up, and everything fits nice. You don't want any binding at all, the way that this all fits together. Hold that there, pop that in. Alright, and I'll show you another thing that you need to do before you get involved with welding this stuff up, because there's a little bit of welding to do. We have to tack this tube to the hinge body. Do the same thing on the other one, and then we'll come back, we'll show you the step after that. But we're going to show you right now on the car. So that's where the hinge would go, and you need to make sure before you weld anything up, when it comes time to weld this pin, that the Zerk fitting faces towards the inside. So this is how the hinge would sit with the door closed, and you need to make sure that this pin is angled properly, and the same thing for the bottom. Alright guys, so like I said, we got everything fitting real good. You're going to have to do a little filing. We did it all with a hand file, little reaming. Can't be any binding. Everything has to fit really nice, silky smooth, and in alignment. Alright, so we're going to go weld this up now. We'll show you that, and we'll show you the rest of the steps to get this finished up. We're almost done with this. Alright guys, we got everything all prepped, and we're ready to tack these tubes to the hinge body. Now in his instructions, he tells you to use a 1/2 inch bolt here to hold this in place. And you know, I did it that way on the other set that I did, and I think doing it the way I'm going to do it here, where I assemble the whole hinge, is just a better way. It's more precise. So I didn't like that way, so I modified this. We're going to just tack this tube to the body now, and we'll show you how that's done. Just a nice tack. We went ahead, we cleaned this up with a little bit of 80 grit here so that we get a nice clean weld. Here goes one. Flip it around. And show them that weld, Joey. Alright, so that's a nice tack there. We're going to go ahead and pop another one in right here. Alright, so there you go. There's our two tacks. I'm going to come in and I'll put one more on each side here, and then we're just going to take our belt sander, our little air-powered belt sander, and just smooth this out, make it nice. So we're going to move on to this other one, and then we'll show you the next step after that. Again, there's the tube tacked in. Alright guys, finished up, and we're all done with the Mustang Steve-Hinge rebuild kit. So when I left off, we showed you, we tacked the tube, and what we did is we just smoothed out the welds a little. I'm going to run a little fillet here around this tube with some structural adhesive just to make it look really clean. And the last step is these pins that go through have to be plug welded at the top, and you can see the orientation. On the top hinge, the Zerk fitting is on the bottom, and on the bottom hinge, the Zerk fitting is on the top. And the one thing that you got to watch out, you got to make sure this would be the open position, and you can see how I position the Zerk fitting so I can reach when the door is open to be able to pack that full of grease. This would be from looking inside the car with the door open, and so now I can access that. And that pretty much wraps it up. We're just gonna, like I said, we're gonna do a little, go above and beyond. We're going to run a little bead in here of that structural adhesive just to make it nice and smooth. And then we're going to grind the top here, make that nice and smooth, put a little bit of filler in. And we also went ahead after we tacked the tubes and we media blasted before we finished up. So there you have it, peeps. That's the whole deal right there. Down at the SaturdayMorningGarage.com. Alright everybody, have a great new year. Only good things. And we'll hit you up with another video when we feel like it. Alright guys.